Under your feet in Las Vegas, a killer could vanish in waist-deep water, and no one on the street would ever know. Main story: Vegas sells light, but the city runs on movement of money, of people, of promises, and what moves fast has a shadow. This shadow isn't a back alley. It's a concrete labyrinth most tourists never hear about. Flood-controlled tunnels, big enough to drive a truck through, stretching for hundreds of miles under the valley. They exist for one reason. When desert storms hit, the water needs a highway. But the day there isn't a storm, the tunnels are dry. Dry space in a city where space is money becomes opportunity. The entrances aren't secret if you know where to look. Culverts behind strip malls, graded mouths near freeway ramps, concrete spillways that look like skateboard parks. One step down and the temperature drops. The sound of traffic dissolves. The farther you walk, the more the outside world becomes a rumor. Phone service dies, footsteps echo, and somewhere in that echo, a different city begins. People found it first, people who were squeezed out of the neon economy. If you live in a place where rooms are expensive and cops move you along, a tunnel is four walls with a door no one notices. Inside, communities formed, lanterns, mattresses off the ground. Names spray painted 6 feet up to mark how high the last flood climbed. A simple code kept things running. Don't steal from neighbors, watch the weather, listen for thunder. Some brought in battery radios, some kept journals, some wrote poems on the walls. A private city born in public infrastructure. Where people settle, stories gather. And some of those stories are crimes. In daylight, crews work the strip the way fishermen work a coastline. Tourists are tides. Pickpockets and card skimmers can disappear in 30 seconds if they know the nearest grate. A man in a cheap suit blends with casino crowds, finds a mark leaving a high-limit room, and steals just one thing: a room key in a sleeve with a name. Another man already knows the elevator routes that bypass the lobby at 3 hotels. He rides up, tests the key, pulls small jewelry, fast, quiet, no confrontation, and then drops to a loading dock that leads to a drainage channel. 10 minutes later, he's under the boulevard, prying open a plastic tote hidden behind a bend to stash the take until the heat cools. The concrete turns theft into patience. Others use the tunnels like dead drops. A crew doing car burglaries in the lots along Tropicana doesn't carry the stolen guns for long. They pass them to a runner who disappears into a side channel, leaves the metal in a duffel with a glow stick tied to the zipper for recognition, and walks out hands empty. If a cop stops him, he's just a guy with dirty shoes. If no one does, a buyer arrives by a different entrance at midnight. Shadows turn into supply chains. The tunnels also serve the kind of crime that thrives on anonymity. Counterfeit cards, identity scams, resale of stolen casino chips. Chips can be traced in high denominations, but low ones move easier. A bucket of small chips looks like a night out, not evidence. In the dark, a ledger is just a head count and a promise. But the concrete that protects can also erase. When rare desert storms hit, the tunnels do what they were built to do. They fill, not politely, not a lazy rise, but a rush. One moment the floor is dry dust, the next it's a brown river that rises a foot every few seconds. The markings on the walls are history lessons written in water. People who know the tunnels keep escape routes in their heads. Which branch climbs to an outlet? Which one drops into a basin? Which grate is loose? Where a shopping cart can become a ladder. The unlucky learn that a city of shadows has no lifeguards. The cops know the tunnels exist. So do casino security. So do outreach workers who bring flashlights and bottled water and try to convince people to take shelter topside during monsoon season. But the problem is geometry. Every grate is an exit. Every branch is a blind corner. You can't seal the system without breaking the city it protects. And as long as there are entrances, someone will use them. Some crimes feel made for movies. There are stories of burglars emerging inside walled neighborhoods by following drain lines that pop in the middle of landscape parks. Of thieves who learned hotel layouts so well they could step outside, descend 2 levels, and reappear inside a stairwell 1 tower over. Of caches where credit card skimmers, cash out gift cards, and burner phones wait in Ziploc bags, taped to the ceiling with gray duct tape that matches the concrete. To most people, those are urban legends. To the people who treat the tunnels like a commute, they are tradecraft. But for every slick operation, there's a desperate one. A couple trying to get clean keeps their last few dollars sewn into the hem of a blanket because pockets aren't safe in a community with rules you can't enforce. A man on the run dies of an overdose on a mattress that used to be someone's couch, and the current pushes him out where kids skateboard. A woman who went below ground to stay out of view ends up more invisible than she imagined, until a flood erases even her hiding place. Once in a while, daylight and tunnel overlap in ugly ways. A follow-home robbery goes wrong. The attackers sprint to an opening and disappear. The victim gives police a direction, but not a destination. They went that way is useless when that way breaks into 7 concrete mouths. Cameras above ground capture a hood, a hat, a plate number. Cameras below ground don't exist. The tunnels swallow cause and effect. Las Vegas is built to watch. Eyes are everywhere, on the pit, on the cage, on the valet. But the tunnel world answers to different math. No credit ratings, no comped rooms, no loyalty cards. If you know the city by its lights, the tunnels feel like heresies. If you know the city by its hustle, they feel like home. The city's response shifts each year. Some seasons, cleanouts roll hard. Sanitation crews haul mattresses and carts. Police serve trespass notices. Grates get welded tighter. Other seasons, outreach leads. IDs are replaced, vouchers handed out, beds found. None of it is simple. Many who live below have reasons. Unpaid warrants, mental health, addiction, debts to people more frightening than a storm. Offer a bed and you're offering rules, curfews, sobriety, checks. Concrete asks for none of those. It asks you to listen for thunder. So why do the tunnels attract crime? Because crime follows edges and the tunnels are all edge. They are the exact line where a glittering economy meets the people it fails. They are quiet enough to plan, close enough to cash out. They are both a hiding place and a highway, and Vegas runs on highways. There's a thought experiment that explains the tunnels perfectly. Imagine a city that doesn't want to see certain things. Poverty, addiction, the math of bad luck. Now imagine the same city engineered to move rainwater far away, very quickly. Where would those things go? To the same place water goes. None of this means the tunnels are only crime. They're also communities with humor and traditions. People throw birthday dinners on upside-down milk crates. Lovers write initials in paint that will wash off, but, until then, feel more permanent than the paper IDs they lost. A man known for fixing things becomes the unofficial electrician. A woman known for calm becomes the one people wake when someone's in a spiral. There are rules you won't find on any city website. Don't run your generator at night. Don't light candles near spray paint. Wake people if the air smells like rain. And sometimes the darkest city writes a bright ending. A woman who spent 3 winters below gets a day job handing out wristbands at a pool, then a night job folding laundry at a hotel. A supervisor takes a chance. A week in a motel becomes a deposit on a studio. She still carries a flashlight on key days, not for tunnels, but for blackouts and memories. The light remembers where it came from. If there's a lesson for outsiders, it's this. The tunnels underneath Vegas are the opposite of the Strip in every way but one. They tell you exactly what the city values. The Strip shows you the price of a room. The tunnels show you the cost of not having one. On top, luxury buys privacy. Below, secrecy is free if you can live with the flood. Look again at the entrances. The ones you can see near chain link and cul-de-sacs are only half the story. The rest hide in plain sight, under the landscaping of resorts, inside the ribs of flyovers, behind those quiet service roads that run like veins parallel to the tourist arteries. Delivery drivers know them. People who work the back of house know them. So do the ones who plan heists on napkins at all-night diners. Will the tunnels ever be fixed? Only if the city can redesign rain, addiction, tourism, debt, and chance. Until then, they'll remain what they are, the honest reply to a glamorous question. The Strip asks, "What do you want to be tonight?" The tunnels answer, "What are you hiding?" At street level, a busker counts his tips. A bachelor party argues about where to go next. A couple poses for a photo with a fake Eiffel Tower in the background. 2 blocks away, a square of metal in the sidewalk hums with a different life. A hand appears, then a headlamp, then a man climbing up for air. He glances at the lights, at the people, at the patrol car easing by. He adjusts his jacket, tucks his flashlight deeper in his pocket, and walks toward the crowd like someone who belongs. In a city built on performance, the truest magic trick might be this: disappearing without leaving. If you ever visit and a cloud bursts over the mountains, look down. The puddles that form in the gutters are not just rain. They are postcards from a city below, messages that say, "We are here." In Vegas, the house always wins, the saying goes. But houses are built on foundations, and foundations hide things. Under the Strip, the second city waits, patient and quiet, until the thunder says run.